Hello again, this is Jasmina, and in this video I'm going to talk about the house charts I have on Payhip. Now, one of my target audiences is people who cannot afford a consultation but still need help. And this is one of the reasons why I do try to answer a lot of questions. Now, I'm not going to analyze your chart for free, but I can help you analyze it because you'll be able to buy all my videos, understand what you need to do. And that is one reason why I discuss quite a bit about how to apply charts, not just how to create them, which can be useful, especially in certain cases, but also how to find things like your true facing direction, what is your incoming chi subsector, how you do all these things. I actually give you examples so that you can apply it yourself. So you don't necessarily need a consultation. Now, most people who do use me for consultations, they are doing not terribly bad, but they would like to be better. They've got some stumbling blocks here or there, and but they do have a good job and they don't have time to do all this. We're talking about people who have to make a little time, but they can still do this. This is what I'm trying to help with my charts on the Payhip store. Of course, if you do a consult with me, you get these charts. Now, what I offer on Payhip can allow you to have the three primary charts you need to really understand a lot about your house or your apartment for only $8 US. Now, I haven't got the flying star charts yet on there, and I don't know if I will because you can get this for free, but at some point in time I might. Now you can get the your feng shui chart, which is the hardest one. Your Chimen feng shui book will tell you what your chart will be. It's not that hard. You still have to understand how to get your true facing direction and the incoming chi, but I tell you how to do that. And this isn't too bad. I mean, it's pretty expensive though. Um, and there are cheaper versions that are electronic, but make sure you know that they're readable because I have seen several Joyette books that were available as ebooks, even on Amazon, that were unreadable. That was the complaint. And it's an ebook and you can't return it. It's you lose your money. It really is not good. So make sure that other people have been able to read it so that you know you can too. Now, you can also get a consult, and they're going to be more expensive than even the book, but of course you get a lot more information. And if you have a little extra money, you can do that. You feel maybe a little more confident about the results, but I think you can still do this yourself if you need to. Now, you can get the your feng shui chart, which is the hardest one. Your Chimen feng shui book will tell you what your chart will be. It's not that hard. You still have to understand how to get your true facing direction and the incoming chi, but I tell you how to do that. And this isn't too bad. I mean, it's pretty expensive though. Um, And there are cheaper versions that are electronic, but make sure you know that they're readable because I have seen several Joyette books that were available as ebooks, even on Amazon, that were unreadable. That was the complaint. And it's an ebook and you can't return it. It's you lose your money. It really is not good. So make sure that other people have been able to read it so that you know you can too. Now, you can also get a consult, and they're going to be more expensive than even the book, but of course you get a lot more information. And if you have a little extra money, you can do that. You feel maybe a little more confident about the results, but I think you can still do this yourself if you need to. Now, if you want to make feng shui consulting a business for you, you really should buy the Joey Yap book because that's about the only place you can find it without paying a really hefty price. Um, and of course you can do it. This is designed for people who do this themselves for their own house or their own apartment. These charts, because I cannot just copy a chart that's from the book, I have to reproduce them. Each chart, each set of charts takes 3 or 4 days when I work hard. And when I've got other things to do, it takes maybe a week to get one set done. So it's slow work. Now, you can also learn to create the purple white charts so you don't have to purchase those either. That is a lot easier. The purple white charts are fairly easy. The Qigong Feng Shui, there's a lot of it that I understand how it's created, but I still do not understand the doors. And I haven't found any place that tells me how to do that. And I've looked for patterns and it seems almost random. Not quite, but close enough. Now, there is other software that you can purchase that will do this, and you can use that if you have a feng shui business. But it is almost 200 or 2,000 US dollars a year. It's an annual subscription, and you can't buy it on a short-term basis. Uh, and it's possible you might have to give them a cut of your consultation fee. It's not clear. I mean, it's in that fine print, which is basically impossible to read unless you're a lawyer. And but he does discuss very clearly that he sues people when they use it inappropriately. So you have to understand what this means if you use his software. It may be if it's only if you're using it as a student. I mean, you've signed up for something to learn, and then you start using it for a business. Maybe that's where he sues people. I don't know. I can't read all that stuff and make any sense out of it. The fine print is really ugly. So I've learned to do it myself. Now, in order to purchase the correct set of Qigong feng shui charts, you just need to know the period of your house and the facing direction of the house, or if it's an apartment or condo, it would be the unit facing direction. Now, most of the time, this would be your balcony door or the largest window, unless the apartment door that you enter and exit the apartment enters to the outside. If that's true, then it's that door that you use. It's just like a house in terms of you're using the main door. These type of apartments do exist in mild climate countries. Most of the places you walk into the building, go on an inside hall, especially if you're in a high-rise building, that's the way it's going to be. But some smaller apartments may open directly to the outside. Now, in the thing that you buy, the PDF file that you'll get sent when you buy it, you will get all 24 incoming chi subsectors. They're all included. So as long as you know the period and the facing direction, you will be able to determine your Qigong chart. So you don't have to worry about figuring this out. You just have to do that to pick out the which chart. I mean, you ultimately have to figure out what subsector your your um, your incoming chi is in, but you can do that after you purchase it. So you've got every single one possible for that period and that facing direction. Now the incoming chi subsector refers to the subsector either where your main door is, and if it's divided into two, it's the center of the main door, and that's true for a house, or it's the subsector where your balcony door or largest window is located in your apartment or condo. And this is in the family area. Now again, if either of these are split, it's where the center of the movable part, because most balcony doors are like sliding sideways. You look at the moving part of the door, the center of that. And if the largest window has an opening, that is operable, which usually it is not, then you would use the middle of the opening side. But otherwise, most of these large windows are stationary, and so you just use the center. So in addition to getting the instructions, general instructions that you will get with the file, you are going to get 6 pages that look like this. This is designed to be printed out on a transparency. But first you want to find out which one you need, which one of the six. But these 6 different charts will cover all 24 subsectors for one given house period or apartment period and one given facing direction. And for the house, it is the house facing. For the apartment, it is the unit facing. So once you know that, you're good to go. And this, like I said, there'll be 6, and you will have everything you need. You don't have to go looking for anything else, as long as you have the period and the facing direction correct. Now, what you'll see when you look near the center is there will be an orangish area. This is where your facing should be. And if it's not, you've ordered the wrong one. But the yellow areas will move around with the different charts. This will always stay the same because we're talking about one facing direction. And you just have to make sure you've got the right one. That is, your incoming chi is in one of these 4 sectors. And for, again, incoming chi is the main door for a house. It is the balcony door or the largest window for an apartment, unless your apartment door, when you leave your apartment to go to the rest of the world, that you enter outside. There are some apartments that are like that, especially in areas where the climate is not too bad. Now, you want to make sure you get the right one of these 6 different charts. What you're going to see in each one of these 45-degree sectors is you're going to have it arranged like this. You'll have the sector, which is like north, south, east, west, and the ones in between. And then you have the Chimin spirit, star, and door right here in the center. And then on the left-hand side, you'll have the heaven stem. And on the right-hand side, you'll have the earth stem. And so this always is under the 1 subsector, this is under 2 subsector, this is under 3 subsector. Even though it's set up like that, this affects the entire sector. So there is no separation there. Everything here affects the entire sector. So we have the heaven stem is here, 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 and here. So it's on the left-hand side of each one of these. And the other ones, this is the earth, 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 and so forth. Now, of course, you want to set up your house, get your facing direction and your true north arrow on your plans before you try to do this. And you need to line up your true north and this north together. And that's how you can tell for sure you've got your doors in the right subsectors. That it's in one of these, and you've got the right chart. Now, for Feng Shui, you really only need the spirit and the door, because the rest they can be used, but in general, they're not. This tells you the general energy from the universe that's located there, and this tells you what kind of actions are good to take in that location. And that's most of Feng Shui. Now, for personalized manifestation, I do have a separate video on that. It uses all these different entities for certain practices. And you really have to watch that video to understand, because sometimes you'll use the spirit, sometimes you use the stem. It all depends. Now, this is what most of the sectors will look like. And they will just have 5 entities. So you've got the spirit, the star, and the door, and then you've got the heaven stem and the earth stem. Now, these words here are just the romanization of the Chinese, how you pronounce the Chinese character. But there are cases where you'll have 6 entities, and here's one. Now, this smaller entity, even though it's printed smaller, is equally strong as this one. and is equally strong as this one. Uh, you just can't print everything big without it becoming overwhelming. So this is the standard way to print it small. And what this one, for this given period, and I forget which one it is, it will always be associated with this gui, the yin water, and this is yin wood. And you can have when when the earth stem is gui, you'll also have the yi or the yin wood. And again, they're all equal, and everything affects the entire sector. There is just because I have these dotted lines doesn't mean anything. This is to help you find that your door is in the right subsector. Now here's an example with 7. This is obviously a different period because we have a different uh, small character here, and it's associated with a different main character. But whenever we have the chief, we also have the ja, which is yang wood. So this one has 7. Again, these are all equal in strength, and they affect the entire sector. All these things affect the entire sector. Now, when I say delusion slash close, some people call it closed door, others call it delusion door. That's why I have them both there. Now, here's one with 8 entities. So we have the gui and the yi together, and then we also have the ja. Now, there also are some cases where you could have bird and grain together, and that does exist. So in theory, you could have up to 9. But in general, the bird isn't used too much for doing like Chiman manifestation or anything like that. And it doesn't show up all that often. So this is why we're not too worried about it. And really, you only have up to 8 that have any effect. And again, everything is equal of the stems, and everything affects this entire sector. Now, as of October 2023, and it'll stay that way to the end of the year, the cost is $6 US. Now, there's a lot of work involved in this. This takes hours to do these charts. So even just to copy the information, it takes hours. Because I cannot show you the actual page. That would be copyright infringement. So I have to recreate the charts for you. And I put them in a nice pie chart, which is the way you should analyze your house anyway. Now, the only place I know of outside of a consultation to get the Chimen Feng Shui chart is either with the Joy App software or the Joy App book. So if you're only doing your own house, $6 is not a lot to ask. If you are in business, I would buy the book. Now, the Chinese Metasoft site, which I really love, unfortunately does not have the house Chimen charts, the Chimen Feng Shui charts. They have a lot of other Chimen charts, but they don't have the ones for the house. Now, when it comes to the purple white, which is actually a lot easier to do yourself, I think most people can do them themselves, but you only need 2 pieces of information. One is the sector, not the subsector, but the sector where the incoming chi is, and that would be your main door sector. So you don't have to be so precise, but if you know it from the Chimen chart analysis you've done, you know what sector it's in. And again, this would be the main door sector for a house, or the balcony door or largest window for an apartment or condo, and all the same things apply, the opening side and if it's split and all that kind of stuff. It's the center. Now, the other thing you need is the key number. So you find the key number by doing this. If you have a house, you divide the street address by 9, and if it's an apartment or a condo, you divide the floor number by 9. Now, the only time that you don't just use the floor number, and this would be if you're in a high rise, the number you press on the elevator. If it's not a high rise, you don't have an elevator, it's the number associated with your apartment address. It's usually unit, floor number, and then ABC or something after that. Most of the time you don't worry about the ABC unless you have a special situation. And that's where if every apartment on your side of the building is identical, then you want to have different schema or different purple white charts for these different apartments. So then the numbers come into play. I give you an example of this in the applying the purple white chart to your residence for these special conditions. So if you have something like that, you want to watch this. Otherwise, you can watch it just to understand how to do it, but otherwise you don't need to worry about it. Now, you want to, once you've done this and you get a number on your calculator, or you could do it by hand, but most people use a calculator, use this table. So now you're going to have some number here on the left-hand side of the decimal point. It doesn't matter what it is. Anything is fine. You want to look at the number after the decimal point. And it'll be 111 or 222 or 333. And of course, if you get up to 5, the last number will go up 1 because they round up. You may have nothing showing or a 0. If that's true, you have a 9. Otherwise, it's whatever number is right after the decimal point. That's your key number. And it's pretty straightforward, easy to do. Now, as of October 2023, this is only $2. And that's because I think most people can do this themselves. And it's also a lot easier, a lot less time consuming. This is pretty straightforward. Now, these sets of 9 charts that you will get when you purchase just one purchase of $2, these charts can be used forever as long as you live in that place and you do not move the location of your main door. I'm mostly talking about houses because in most apartments or condos, you can't change that even if you want to. So they're useful forever, and that's because it repeats every 9 years. And I do tell you which years apply to which charts, and they just repeat every 9 years. Now, the software from Joey app will also give you the purple white chart. So you could do that instead if you don't want to learn to use it, but I think it's outrageous how much he wants for that. So this is what a purple white chart will look like from me. And it will be listed in terms of key number first and then your incoming chi subsector. Now, if you've done the Chiman chart, you know which actually it's a Chiman sector, not subsector. That's important. And so you've already known the subsector from doing the Chiman chart, so you'll know your sector. You will receive 9 charts for each one of these combinations, and these 9 charts will repeat every 9 years. So they're good forever. And I do list the years, as you can maybe see here. The years are listed, and they just repeat every 9 years. Now, what you're going to have is the smallest star is the annual star, which is right there, very tiny. Then you have a star that actually comes about because of the key number, and then you have a star that has to do with a number associated with the chi, incoming chi sector. And I have a separate video on how to do this yourself. You don't necessarily need this chart if you can do it yourself. So that's basically it. Here is the Payhip store if you are interested. Again, this is I don't see your credit card, anything like this. This is a secure site. At some point, I hope to instead put it on my webpage, but I have to figure out how to do that. And you would pay through like PayPal, but this is up and ready now, and maybe at some point later it'll be on my website, which is found here. Thank you again for watching.